Everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some of the ticker symbols that were in play today. Okay, first up, let's take a look here at CGI. It's been on this really nice run. It closed up 16% today. The RSI is at 79 now, so it is in the overbought power zone. You've got Fasto has been above 80 for quite a while. There was this big bounce here off of ADX plus DI's breaking out higher. So the bullish move happened yesterday. This is the last chart that we posted. And as you can see here, that there was the gap fill back here on the 17th. Okay, there was this is the top of the gap, this is the bottom of the gap, and so the gap finally filled on the 17th. And then what we were looking for was a close above the 100-day simple moving average, which is currently at 404. That's the gold line here, and that actually happened yesterday. And so the close above the 100-day simple moving average yesterday was the signal that CGI had more upside potential, and so that was really nice to see it follow through today. You know, had that big move higher. The candle did close above the upper Bollinger Band, so it could take a pause and pull back into the bands. The key level to hold is going to be EMA 435. We want to see this 100-day simple moving average turn into support. As long as that holds, our next target is going to be this 200-day simple moving average at 595. That's the eventual next target to break. Notice the candles have been riding EMA 4 support higher since the close above the middle Bollinger Band here back in the second week of July, and so this is this is a very strong uptrend. You know, the uptrend started back here when the middle Bollinger Band turned into support the end of May, beginning of June, and then you know, there was a brief pullback. It tested that 50-day simple moving average that held, and it's been continuing higher. So this is a great uptrend. You know, it looks like this could easily run up to this 200, possibly test the 300-day simple moving average if the uptrend continues. If there's a close below the 100-day simple moving average, that'll be a red flag, and you could see a pullback to the middle Bollinger Band. Okay, let's look at CDNA. Okay, it made another bullish development today. Check out the RSI here at 56. So there is a lot of room still to 70. And if you look here on a past run, it went well up into the 80s. So yeah, there's a lot of juice in the tank on this one. If you look down here on Fasto, it's all the way down here. It just crossed above 20. There was a bullish crossover down here. So yeah, we'll see if it can make a run up to 50. Always want to see Fasto above 50 for stocks that are bullish. And so today, the bullish development was the close above the 100-day simple moving average at 125, the gold line here, and above the middle Bollinger Band at 124. Now candles need to stay above that level. That level needs to hold. If you look here, there was several days where it tried to turn that level into support, and it fell to and it pulled back. So maybe this will be the charm. I mean, you notice back here, it closed above the 100-day simple moving average on the what is it, the 10th of July, and it failed to hold that level and pulled back. You know, closed above it again, failed to hold that level, pulled back. Now it's back above it again. So you know, it looks like it really should be able to turn this level into support. The closing price back here on the what is this, the 18th? Okay, so it is the key level to break right about 135, 134. If it can break that level, you could see a run up here to 160. Okay, up to the closing price here on the 10th. That is going to be the big resistance level to break, and so if it can get above that level, then you're talking about a potential run up to the 200-day simple moving average. That's the target when the 100-day simple moving average turns into support, similar to when the 50-day simple moving average turned into support. It ran up to the 100. So we'll see. It has to get past 160. Notice it broke that level intraday today, but it pulled back. So that's going to be the big level on the chart. Notice that there's this top of the channel. The current channel is lining up with the 175. You know, this this whole zone where high of day hit today. So yeah, it needs to turn that level into support. If you look back here in March, that was a prior support level, and so when there's a big support level, it turns into resistance. So yeah, 160 is a big level on this chart. If you can get past that, we're looking at a run back up to $2. Okay, let's look at NOG. Okay, this stock is heating up as well. We want to see RSI get above 50. It's currently at 48. Fasto at 62. There's still plenty of room till the 80 overbought level. Bullish crossover started on ADX here with plus DI, the green line, crossing ADX, the red line to the downside or to the upside. And so the bullish development on this chart here is the close above the middle Bollinger Band. We've been watching this play for a while, and we've been looking for this move. So today is finally the day that this happened. The last close above the middle Bollinger Band was all the way back here in, you have to go back to April, the first week of April. And so, you know, it tried to break that level here in May, failed to do so. And so this is the first close above the middle Bollinger Band in literally months. And so this is the best the stock has looked in months. That's why it made the video tonight. And so now what we want to see is the middle Bollinger Band. It's the dotted purple line here, currently at 125. We want to see that level hold. If that level holds, then we're looking at up here at the 50-day simple moving average in the upper Bollinger Band is the key level to break. Okay, that zone was tested today with the high of day. If it can close above that level, then you could potentially see a run up to $2, and this 100-day simple moving average currently at 195. So first things first, we want to see the middle Bollinger Band hold. We want to see another close above that level to turn into support to signal a possible new uptrend starting. Notice there's a recent parabolic SAR bull flip. The green dots are below the candles. Notice they had been above the candles since back in June. So that's another signal that a possible new uptrend is starting. You've also got a volume spike. Okay, so there's the best volume in weeks. And then there's recent bullish crossovers on ADX. So these are all signals that the chart is heating up. So now it just needs to hold the middle Bollinger Band and start a new uptrend. Okay, let's look at APRI. Okay, this stock is, you know, it's 64 on RSI. It still has room to run till 70. You know, it's at 70 on Fasto, so this is not overbought yet. It's got a crossover on ADX here with plus DI crossing ADX, the black line to the upside. And so this is another stock that we've been following for quite a while here, and we've been looking for this bullish development that finally happened today. Okay, so that's another stock that made our chart today because, or made the video today because the chart had a key development that we had been tracking. We do a lot of stalking our prey, where we watch a pattern as it's developing, and we look for a key break above resistance to signal that is the time to enter. And that happened today on for APRI. And if you notice here, there's this red descending resistance line, and also this high close here on the 10th. So there was a close above both levels today. It got back above the middle Bollinger Band here, currently at 111. That is the key level to hold. You want to see the share price stay above 120 now, and so it's back at the at this gap level. Okay, so there's a gap back here in April, and that gap finally filled here on the 11th. So the upper wick filled the gap, but it pulled back after filling the gap. It was a head fake for everyone, and it consolidated, you know, continued the consolidation pattern while in an uptrend. Notice the ascending support, and so today there was a break above that level, but notice where it hit. It hit right back at the bottom of the gap. Okay, and so you keep that in mind that those levels, because you know, remain key resistance levels. So it's going to have to get above the bottom of the gap and then get above the top of the gap in order to get up here and test this 100-day simple moving average at 143. That is the next target. You know, we're going to see here if it can push through this gap. It had a PSAR bull flip today. The green dots are below the candles. It had a very big volume spike, and then you got a little uptick down here on accumulation distribution. So yeah, so this stock looks like it wants to head higher. So keep an eye on APRI. We'll see if it can run to the 100-day simple moving average. Okay, let's take a look at CERC. This is a nice bounce off of 50. It's been staying above 50 on RSI, so that is good. It's still bullish. You don't want to see it drop below 50. Notice how Fasto was above 80, and then it corrected all the way down to 20. Okay, so it got to this oversold level, and then it crossed back above. That is usually the signal that a possible new uptrend is starting. So keep that in mind. When the black line crosses the red line to the upside, that's a bullish crossover. Many times that's a signal, especially when it's correlated with a break above the 20 line. When it's below 20 and breaks back above, that's a signal that a possible, you know, that the stock is heating back up. It's similar to back here. If you look at the crossover, you know, this whole development here, it crosses the black line, crosses the red line, it gets above the 20, and then notice that was the signal of this uptrend. Okay, so now we have that development again. The inverse of that is when the Fasto is above 80 and it crosses below 80, and then you have the black line crossing the red line to the downside. Notice how that signaled the start of the downtrend. So yeah, we'll see here if it can stay above 20. We want to see it get back above 50. And this was the classic bounce off the middle Bollinger Band. It's taken a little while to do that. You know, what needs to happen here is the candles need to stay above the middle Bollinger Band, currently at 79. Also, you've got EMAs 4, 8, and 13 all pinched at 79, and so this is a huge level, the 79 level, and so what we want to see is that level turn into support. What you want to see the pink line cross the green line to the upside. Okay, so notice how EMA 4 crossed below, the pink line was above the green line as the share price is heading higher, and then when it was breaking down, you get this cross below. You want to see it cross back above. If the pink line crosses above the green line and the candles start riding that higher, that'll be a signal that the chart is healthy. Then we'll be looking for a close above this high close resistance here, the closest level, which is currently looks like about 93. If that can happen, then you could be talking about an upper Bollinger Band test and a possible run up to the 200-day simple moving average. But first things first, it's got to hold this middle Bollinger Band. If that level breaks and there's a close above this horizontal support line, then you're talking about a drop all the way down here to the 50 and 100-day simple moving average at 65 and 64. That'll be the key level to hold on a pullback. Check out the volume, very light volume. What you want to see is a bullish volume spike. Notice how the volume's been very flat for several days in a row. You want to see a green volume spike and a push through resistance. That's what we're looking for now. We want to see a bullish crossover on the 8, 13, and 5. That signals before the 12, 26, and 9. Okay, take a look at TWMJF. This is Canopy Growth, you know, arguably the #1 cannabis company in the world. This is a long-term swing trade play for us, and so we do regular updates. If you look here, it's above 70 on RSI. And notice, you know, in the past, it's been able to head higher in the overbought power zone, because this has traded like a big board stock. This is the first marijuana unicorn. It's the marijuana sector unicorn. It's the first $1 billion market cap marijuana company. So you know, if you don't take GWPH into consideration, and so so now we've got Fasto here at 98. So at 100, Fasto is maxed. So this is pushing maxed levels. Okay, so it's looking frothy right now. You've got Plus DI here at a high level as well. If you look, so you know, it's nice to do is draw a horizontal resistance, or you know, draw a horizontal line from where the Plus DI is when it's breaking out to see where it hit past levels. And you can see here Plus DI has ran to much higher levels. Okay, so it's not like a crazy breakout, but it is frothy on Fasto. And what happened here is it's been on this nice multi-day run. If you look here, it's been 4 white candles in a row. It closed above. It's difficult to see, I'm sorry, but I wanted to show you this longer term chart. The 100-day simple moving average at 672. There was a close above that level on Monday, and then today there was a close above the 200-day simple moving average at 703. So really nice follow through. What we want to see now is we want to see the 200-day simple moving average turn into support. The candles are riding EMA 4 at 702 really strong right now. You know, as long as this middle Bollinger Band currently at 639 holds, the uptrend is still intact, but you really want to see the candles stay above the 100 and 200-day simple moving averages. And so currently, right now, TWMJF, it's also WEED.ca for you know, Toronto Stock Exchange. It trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange as well. And so this is trading currently above all the moving averages. If you look over here at the moving averages, it's currently trading above all of them. So yeah, if you can turn that 200 into support, it's going to be very strong, and you could see a run back up to 10. That is the eventual target. If you look here, 10 was hit twice. It was hit back here in November of 2016. You know, it ran above, but that was the high close zone. And then that level got hit again in February, and it pulled back. And so now it's been making this retrace back to that level. Okay, so it's fib retraced. I want to show you here, it bounced really clean cleanly off of the 300-day simple moving average. That was our target when it pulled back. Congrats to everybody that was following our analysis back then. We nailed the $5 reload target, and now look at it. It's up 50% from our call. So that was excellent. It's been a swing trade from that level. We called a long-term swing trade off of the $5 zone, and so as long as this middle Bollinger Band is holding, this is still a really good uptrend. We're thinking this can make a run back up to 10 as long as support holds. If you get a close back below the 100-day simple moving average, then you can see the middle Bollinger Band tested. The big level now is all the way down here at the 300-day simple moving average, now at 554. As long as that's holding, then this is intact, and it should keep heading higher. With so much potential good news coming out, not sure if it's going to drop back down to the 300-day simple moving average, but if it ever does, that is a really good level to take new longer-term positions. So yeah, look at that as like a nice score level if you can get it down there in the 5s. Yeah, so keep an eye on TWMJF. We have been posting a lot of information on the Canadian marijuana sector because it has been doing very well lately, and the U.S. sector has been bouncing back as well. There's supposed to be some news out tomorrow, so we're going to see how that affects the United States marijuana sector. So be sure to keep an eye out for information we'll be putting out tomorrow on the topic on our website. Yeah, so check out BBEPQ. Okay, so this had a nice bounce. Okay, it's currently at 56 here on RSI. It bounced right off of 50, so it's got a lot of juice to run here. Notice the bullish crossover I was just talking about on Fasto, so that's heating up as well. It bounced off of 20. This was the classic bounce off the middle Bollinger Band. When you get a nice run and a stock closes well above the upper Bollinger Band, we always look for a potential reload off of the middle Bollinger Band if that level is tested and holds. And so that happened right here yesterday. Notice that level held. That was a signal this was the reload zone. And then today there was a nice bounce off that level, and it closed back above the 100-day simple moving average at 0.603. We want to see that level hold. If it holds, then you could see a run back up here into the 7s and the 8s. So yeah, so BBEPQ is had a nice bounce. If it closes below the middle Bollinger Band, that's going to be a big red flag. It has to hold the 50-day simple moving average at 0.0442. If that level breaks, then the chart is totally broken, and it'll be a big risk to hold. Okay, check out DNR. We've been following the small cap energy sector stocks because, as everyone knows, it's the most beaten up sector, and so many times you'll see these small caps start moving before the sector moves, and so that's what we're looking at right now. We're trying to track a lot of the plays that are have potential upside, that are the most beaten up plays, and so everybody knows at some point the energy sector is going to take off again, and so yeah, we're trying to keep everybody updated on these small cap plays because a lot of times they're the stocks that deliver the biggest percentage gains. So yeah, so keep following if you want to stay on top of the eventual bounce for the energy sector. We're going to be on it, and we'll be posting stocks that are setting up on a regular basis. Okay, so check out Fasto here at 50. We want to see it go above 50. We want to see RSI above 50 as well. Over here on plus DIs crossing 80x to the upside, so there's a bullish crossover. This is DNR here, and this stock has been beaten up. It tried to get an uptrend going here in June, and it pulled back, and it looks like a potential double bottom off of 130. It has to get back above the middle Bollinger Band and above what we're looking for is a close above the 50-day simple moving average at 154. We've been watching for a few weeks now. Notice all the candles have been kind of testing that zone, and we've been looking for a close above that level, and once that happens, then we'll be looking for a potential run up to the 100-day simple moving average at 191. We want to see that middle Bollinger Band turn into support. You notice it's been it channeled in that level, so this 165 level is going to be 160 106, 167. That's going to be a big level to break. If it can get above that, then 190 could be back on deck. Notice that MACD is pinched down here and a potential bullish crossover, and volume's picking up as well. Okay, so let's take a look at ARWR. It had a really big day today. It's hitting 70 on RSI, so it's at the overbought power zone. Notice Fasto closed at 97, 100 is max, so it did close frothy today. Nice crossover on ADX, both on plus DI and on ADX down here. So they're both, had these. Well, I guess the crossover on plus DI was a couple days ago, but you have ADX here, the black line starting to cross the red line to the upside. So this has been on a multi-day run, and then today there was a nice close above the 100-day simple moving average at 169. That's the gold line. Notice how it's been resistance. That level tried to break on multiple times over the past couple months, and it had failed. So the close above that level today is signaling more upside potential. It did close well above the upper Bollinger Band, so you could see the candles work back into the bands. If that happens, this 177, 170, right above 175 zone here is going to be, that was a former double top level, and so you really want to see that level hold on a pullback. So we'll call that 175. If that breaks, then the big level to hold is going to be this 100-day simple moving average. You want to see that turn into support. When a big simple moving average like that breaks, you want to see it hold when it gets pulled back and tested. Many times these levels have to be tested before a stock breaks out higher. The candles like to work back into the bands. They like to backfill and then keep pushing higher. The big resistance level to break above is this high close back here on the 29th of March, and then if it can get above this, like we'll call it 193 or so, then you're looking at a potential run back up into the twos. The 200-day simple moving average is all the way up here at 242, so that's the next big simple moving average resistance level. But it's going to have to turn the 100 into support and work through these two, through the 2 level to be able to test that 200-day simple moving average. Notice there was a volume spike today, and you've got the bullish crossover down here on MACD on both time frames. So that's signaling the chart is heating up. Okay, now I'm going to finish up here with GLDFF. This is an Oregon cannabis company. I think they deal in concentrates and oils. I'm showing this chart just because I was scanning through and I noticed it was really beaten up today. It's a thinly traded stock. It closed down 22%. Notice how Fasto is at 0. So this is as oversold as a stock can get on a short-term basis. This is extreme oversold levels. Notice the close below 30 on RSI. The last time it closed below that level, okay, was back here. Let's see what it did when it closed below that. That was the before the start of a huge run. Okay, so we'll see here if this thing can get a dead cat bounce here, get a bounce. They just had some news about a new CEO taking over, and so this might be the shake before a little bake. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It could keep breaking down. There are some red flags in this company. I'll show you in just a second. But notice how the candle closed well below the lower Bollinger Band. So you could see a snapback rally back up to this 1920 level, and the chart could still remain bearish. So on a bounce, it's EMA4 is at 19, and that's going to be a big level to break. Notice that there was a big volume spike. They might have pulled it back to load some shares. It did close at low of day. So the last trade of the day was the low of day. And so that's extreme bearishness. And then notice that MACD line is pointing down. So if you look here, this was the recent news. If you want to check out these marijuana sector stocks, I recommend going to otcmarkets.com. This is where you can find all the OTC plays. Most of the marijuana companies are over the counter, and you can find their current information on here. And if you look here, this is their last PR. It was from just a couple days ago, and they've got this new CEO that's coming in. And so the red flag, though, if you check here and you're going to be trading these OTC stocks, I recommend going and looking at the company profile. Okay, so this gives you the business description. It tells you where they're from. And notice this is a Canadian-based company, but their their company is in Oregon, but it's owned by a Canadian company. And the red flag here is you always want to look at the security details. It's all about share structure with these penny stocks, especially these OTC stocks. And then check out the authorized shares. Notice it says unlimited. That means they can just dump into oblivion. Okay, so that is a big red flag. You never want to see that. There's currently only 113 OS. I mean, that's from a year ago, so it could be much different. You know, it's hard to tell. But yeah, when you see unlimited, that is a big red flag. So yeah, there's a little OTC lesson for you here at the end of this video. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis and how the markets work and how to trade and all that good stuff, come check out our chat. Everybody's welcome. Okay, thank you.